Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Wartrain here. If you're new, please subscribe and click down below to get notified of all my new videos. And do me a favor, please share this video and give me a like. I'd really appreciate it and you'd really help out the channel. Today's video, I want to show you some of the things that really mean something to me in my collection. Behind me, this is one of my favorite games of all time. It's been overtaken by Breath of the Wild Zelda, the newest release on the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U. But there was a time that this game behind me was actually my favorite Zelda game. And a lot of people still, this is their favorite Zelda game. It's actually one of the best games ever made. Does it hold up today? No, not quite. You know, it's got some rough edges, to say the least. But this is a good way to play this. This is actually on the Nintendo GameCube with a Mark II. So it's actually playing in 480p progressive scan, which it definitely looks a lot better than it would if I just hooked this GameCube directly up to my TV. And it looks a lot better than having it hooked up on the Nintendo 64. I could definitely tell you that much. But this is something in my collection that definitely means a lot to me. I do have the Nintendo 64 version as well, and the 3DS version of this game. There's a reason I have so many copies of it. Like I said, to me, it really means something. And I'm going to show you some other stuff in my collection, like my Zelda amiibos. I actually believe I have every Zelda amiibo there is, to this day anyway. Things could change because it seems like they're just popping out amiibos every time I turn around. They got a new one. Recently we just got Young Link for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so I had to get that day one. But I have all my amiibos, my Zelda ones anyway, all together on one wall in a collection together. And I do have a couple copies of the same one kind of spread out through my basement, my game room. And it's definitely cool to come down here and see something, you know, that really means something to me. And you know, Link is a character that I've always liked since The Legend of Zelda first came out in 1987. That was the game that actually showed me how video games could open up to a grand adventure and really make you think and you know, dream about what it would be like to be these characters, which was really cool. And you know, it's a lot different now where they can actually take you there in these games, which before you had to use your imagination, you know, when you got a little 8-bit sprite up on a TV, especially a CRT TV, it definitely leaves a lot to be desired. But now they can take you on these full adventures, you know, cut scenes. It's almost like being inside of a movie. And it's definitely entertaining. There's a reason it's such a, you know, big industry of media, because it's very entertaining. And, you know, for the price that you pay, you actually get quite a bit out of it if you really enjoy what you're playing. But I do have a pretty decent sized collection. It's nothing huge, but it's enough for me. And, you know, I really enjoy the things that I do have. I have a bunch of different systems. Like I said, this behind me is on a Nintendo GameCube playing on a Mark II. And I also have my original Nintendo 64 that I had when I was a teenager, which that is really cool. I have that hooked up to a CRT TV. And I also have my original Game Boy, my original Game Boy Color, and my original Xbox, original one. A lot of my systems have been lost to time, like my original Super Nintendo, my Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx 16. A lot of that stuff just, it's gone. And over the years I've been trying to get some of it back, and I did find my original Sega Genesis Altered Beast, just the game, it's this cartridge itself, which is pretty cool. You know, so that's definitely something neat that I still have that. But I want to show you guys around some of the stuff in my collection that is like my really choice pieces that I really like and I'm happy that I have. And let's get on with it. Okay, guys, so here's the wall that I have with some of my Legend of Zelda amiibos. Got the Breath of the Wild collection. And some of these took me a while to get, so don't just think, you know, this stuff all just came together. There was definitely a lot of searching involved. And that was really part of the fun of collecting all this stuff. Because some of these things I didn't really think I would even be able to get, at least for a decent amount of time. Fortunately for me and a lot of other people, Nintendo decided to re-release a lot of these amiibos for Smash Bros. Ultimate, which was really cool. Even though a lot of these I already had at that point. But I did pick up a couple, like Sheik and Zelda were two I didn't have that I actually picked up with the re-release. And not the Breath of the Wild Zelda, the Twilight Princess Zelda. That Guardian one is really cool, though. I do have one out of the box. The one out of the box is the first one that I owned. Before I decided I wanted to keep them in the boxes. But I just love how cool these things look. These guys right here, these three were probably the hardest to get. And this one right above it, actually both of those. Definitely the Ocarina of Time one. Probably cost me as much as the Toon Link and Zelda one. That one, at least you got two. And here's just some of the other stuff in my collection. I'm sure you've seen this stuff kind of around my room when I'm filming. Right here, I have Metroid Prime Trilogy. It's in video. That is really cool. One of the GameStop employees actually called me when they got one of those in. Somebody actually returned it. And he knew I was looking around for the Steelbook limited edition, collector's edition or whatever of it. So he called me up, and that was really cool. And back here, the Octopath Traveler Wayfarers edition. That is really cool. I'm glad I had that pre-ordered. GameStop employee, friend of mine, actually, he's the one that, you know, gave me the idea to pre-order this, and I'm really glad that I did. That thing's really cool. One time I'll do a video on it. I'll open it up and show you guys inside of it, and I'll show some of the gameplay for that game. And then you got these Mega Man amiibos, which are really cool. The Mega Man 11 one, in the United States, you could only get that if you bought it like this with the game. I believe in Japan you could actually get it separate, where it's actually has a box for it. This one just comes in a white box that's inside there, just like that gold one, which only came with the Legacy collection for the 3DS. Then I just got random stuff. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate up there. I got the one with the steel bookcase and the controller. Just threw a random amiibo up there. I really like these amiibos. They're really cool. They're definitely detailed. And at first I wasn't never planning on collecting them. It just started with getting Breath of the Wild ones. And then it was after I had them all out of the box, I decided I want a version, a full copy of each one of them in the box. And that's how it started. It turned into an addiction. My son also is a huge fan. So it's very hard to get these because I usually have to get doubles of some of them because there's definitely ones that he wants. And some of these I don't have that he has because I just couldn't get them yet. It's hard to buy two at a time. But there's certain ones he doesn't have. Like this, actually these two right here he definitely doesn't have. But I definitely like the artwork that they come in inside when you have them in the box. There's a lot of character to these things. And Nintendo and whoever makes them does a great job of capturing the characters. Like this Pac-Man one, that is awesome. Or Ridley. And the detail in like Palutena, I mean, it's just amazing. So I got hooked pretty quickly, you know, collecting these things. And they just seem to keep coming out. It's like I can't keep up with them. But they're really fun. I try to keep them somewhat together. I really like having Ness and Lucas together from Earthbound or the Mother series. Or like these 3-packs of the Squidlings from Splatoon. Falco and Fox from Star Fox. But the thing is, I started running out of room because there's so many of these things. Got Cloud, the Villager. Villager, he's really cool. He grew on me. My son loves the Villager. But I tried to keep kind of like an original lineup towards the top, which I thought is really cool. As I do not have a Luigi, even though he wasn't in the original lineup, but I don't have a Donkey Kong either. One day I'll have one. I don't have a Diddy Kong as well. I'd really like to have a Diddy Kong and a Donkey Kong. I know my son definitely wants a Donkey Kong. Well, yeah, what do you guys think about Amiibos? Does anybody collect any of these things? And then I have the serious part of my collection right here. This is like my pride and joy stuff, is the Zelda 1 and 2 complete in box in really good condition. The map inside Zelda 2 is mint. I mean, I think it's probably like if you would just open the package and pull the map out back in 1987. That's about how crisp it is. And the Game Informer magazine before this game came out, Breath of the Wild, and the limited edition 3DS with the high roll crest on it. And then I got one of these bit lamps or whatever. They're pretty neat. I like the white one. I thought that was cool, because I always like when you got the blue ring and turned white. And then I had to get the Explorer's Guide, or Explorer's Edition, that came with a guidebook, which figures that came out after the fact. And then I bought a copy of the Wii U version from GameStop, but unfortunately it wasn't sealed. They sell new games that aren't sealed, if you didn't know. Most people do know that, unfortunately. But I started playing that one on the Wii U just to compare them, but I also wanted to have one that was sealed. So those are sealed copies up there. And I have a copy of each one of those that are open. And then I have my Masters Edition of Breath of the Wild, and I'm never opening that. And I threw a couple amiibos up there just because they look really cool. Especially the Link one right in the middle that just seems to fit. And the Guardian on the side. Kind of protecting the area. And then you have the box art from GameStop. This is actually for the expansion pass. So you there's no cartridge or nothing in there. It's just the box and the paper that was in there. This is what they had displayed on the shelf at GameStop if you wanted the DLC back when the game came out. I'm sure there's still some of these somewhere, but they're really cool. I definitely am glad I have one. They actually thought they got rid of all of them, and luckily they had one left. But up there I also have a Sheikah hat, and underneath that I have another black hat, which is got the Hyrule crest on it. And I got my little Cuphead stuff, and got my Skull Kid there with the Majora's Mask, and the little Wind Waker Link. My son likes to take him and play with him. And then down here I have my Breath of the Wild Link plushie. Little baby Mega Man, and my God of War Stone Mason edition, and a couple of the pop figures. I don't really collect pop figures, but I do have a couple. The ones that I think are really cool and characters that I really like. And then I have a tons of controllers and headsets and all kinds of stuff kind of stashed around my 3DS. None of this stuff has been cleaned up for this video. This is normally how everything is. I just have a lot of different controllers. I have tons of them stuffed away, but these are ones I actively play with. You see, I got Xbox One controllers and Switch controllers and GameCube controllers, and I got those Nintendo Switch NES controllers are really cool. I actually was playing Zelda 2 on my Switch and beat it actually using one of those controllers. And then I got some of my retro games here. And a box of Cuphead cereal. Yeah, I'll probably never open that, but we'll see. Maybe one day I'll take the little devil miniature pop figure out. Okay, now over here in between my closet doors, I have some of my Zelda amiibos. I have these are all duplicates, but I put them right underneath this picture here with all the different links. I thought that was pretty cool. It seems like most of them are like Young Link or Toon Link style, so that's kind of somewhat of what I went with here. Even though I don't have the Young Link, instead I have the Wolf. But definitely pretty cool. And then over here I have some Pokemon amiibos. Detective Pikachu. He's a real big one. Definitely pretty cool. And it's hard not to take some of these out of the box. And I got a Mewtwo is missing, so I need to get a Mewtwo to put up there. Because recently I got Greninja and Charizard. And Greninja, he's actually a character that's in the new Detective Pikachu movie. It's just the detail on these things are really neat. Then over here in the corner of my room, I have some more amiibos and some Pez dispensers. Got my NES Classic. This is just an empty box here. I have another one that is in the box and a Super Nintendo one. But I thought that was cool with the pixelated Mario amiibo. And I just picked up Robin and Wii Fit Trainer, which the Wii Fit Trainer was really hard to get there for a while. But they did this re-release recently. And then I have the Diablo Loot Goblin, which I thought was really cool. It's hard to say it. I can't say Goblin. And just some random Kirby ones. Yoshi. And then right above this, I have my God of War Stonemason Edition. Out on display. This thing is awesome. I'm a huge fan of God of War, especially this newest game. I thought it was great and definitely believe this should have got Game of the Year, and it did. Was rooting for it because this game was awesome. The gameplay was so fast and solid, and just the game looked great. I mean, especially on a PlayStation 4 Pro, it was just awesome. And I really like how they took the series in a different direction. And what an amazing looking statue. It really captures the essence of the game. And steel book behind it. I kept it in the insert that was actually inside the box. I think it looks kind of cool like that, how I have it displayed. And then you have Mimir, the smartest man alive. And, you know, he's got these tattoos on his head and stuff, just like in the game, and he actually talks.
They call me Mimir, smartest man alive, and I have the answer to your every question.
And in the game, Kratos has him hanging off of his belt or whatever. It's pretty funny, and he's always talking. And you got the dwarves that fix your shield, or not your shield, I mean your axe, the Leviathan axe, and your blades of chaos. They upgrade them. They're brothers, and they work on your tools. So they're the blacksmiths of the game, and really cool characters. It's just neat how they kept them how they are in the game, kind of, but made them into these like little toys. And you got the stonemason ring, which is really cool. And actually fits on my finger really good, which is crazy. And it's just like the detail on this stuff is absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this statue. Trying to hold still is tough, but wow, it's just amazing the detail on this thing. They did a great job. And even on his shield. It's like even the quiver, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And really glad I got this edition. Actually, at first I was late on the pre-order, and when the game came out, I bought the regular copy the day before, or the early launch or whatever. And after I played the game for like a day or two, I said, wow, I have to get the Stonemason edition. I absolutely love this game, and knew that this was one of my favorite games ever made just by playing it within a day or two. And then above it, I just have some random stuff. Some Mario glasses and Cappy hat and some NES controllers for the NES Classic, and they're sealed boxes. One day I'll open them when I need another controller. Figure I'll keep them fresh. Maybe another 20 years I'll need one, and pop it open. And I got my Neo Geo mini controllers. and just some little mini boss, just some random stuff. Farpoint for PlayStation VR and the gun peripheral that comes with it. Little Rick and Morty VR. And here I got my map from the Making a Guardian edition, a Breath of the Wild book. And right now I'm working on a video for the Dead Cells DLC. Got my Street Fighter 2 Arcade 1-Up. This thing is awesome. I'm a huge fan of this thing. I definitely I'm gonna be modding that thing here soon. So I'll be making a video on that when I do get to modding it. I have all the stuff to do it. I just gotta get the time. But definitely fun stuff, that's for sure. And then above it, I figured it would only be fit to have Capcom amiibos above it. So I have Ken for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, his new amiibo. And then Ryu underneath it. And then Mega Man. And then I have another video where I show off my Pac-Man plug and plays and the cereal, and I have my Labo blaster and VR goggles for the Switch. This stuff is really cool. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. And then down below I have, that is the Making a Guardian book collection with there's just a bunch of cool stuff inside there. I'm really glad I got that. That thing is awesome, and I just love the artwork. And then I have a bunch of other game related books and some of my GameCube games and my original Game Boy and my original Game Boy Color down there, the box for the Mark II, some 8-bit DOE accessories to make your controllers wireless for the Nintendo Switch, like your GameCube ones. That way you'll have a home button and all that stuff. Really cool stuff. Some must-have books. Art of Atari, fantastic book. And I have the NES Punk, Pat Contry, the Ultimate NES Guide to the NES Library. That thing is awesome. He's doing a Super Nintendo one. I can't wait till he finishes that and starts selling that. I'll be definitely picking that guy up. Then over here I got some Super Mario stuff. And these Super NES carts that you see that are really big, they were from GameStop. They actually had shirts inside of them. I have a Legend of Zelda Link to the Past one, this Super Mario World one, and I also have a Metroid one for Super Metroid. Those things are so cool. And then I have my retro spot here. Even though this isn't retro here, I just thought it fit. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They were giving that out when I got the game at GameStop on the launch day. And these amiibo here, really like this one. Took me a while to even get this one. I got it at a GameStop, but every time I looked, they didn't have it. I just love that it comes with the Metroid. I think that's so cool. I want to open it because I hear the Metroid squishy, but I definitely don't want to open it. And then I got some, 8-bit pop figures, which are really cool. Ryu and stuff, and a McDonald's toy of Mario from Super Mario Odyssey with Cappy. It's pretty cool because he actually throws the hat. Actually pretty decent for a Nintendo toy. And then I got some of my old retro consoles. And then a modern one to play NES games in emulation. I could play that on this TV or in HD on my big TV. And Super Mario Odyssey amiibos. And some of my NES games. C64 Mini. Just some really cool stuff and real fun. My CD collection from when I was younger. The arcade 1-up box and my Spider-Man PS4 Slim box. They had a really great deal on these at Black Friday. They were going for $199.99. A Slim with a 1 terabyte hard drive with Spider-Man. I was like, wow, I didn't really need one, but I picked it up anyway. And I got my box for Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. This box is in really decent condition, considering I had it stuffed in my closet since I bought it. Some more amiibos, Altered Beast pop figure, the PlayStation Classic box. Some more amiibos. Just haven't figured out where to put them yet. The other Cloud one, and recently I just got this Bayonetta one, which is really cool. Maybe soon I'll find the second one. I really like the Bayonetta series. Big fan of that series. And King K. Rool, huge Donkey Kong Country fan. That's a great series. Then I got my 75-inch TV here. And below that, I have my game consoles. It's a mess because I'm always playing games and going to other systems, but I have some amiibos down there and some boxes, and like these are complete in box NES Classic and Super NES Classic. The other ones I modded them, and these are just never been opened original ones. Got some Switch controllers that are never been opened that I got when the Switch first came out. And these cool guys from Mario Rabbids, huge fan of this series. Maybe one day I'll get the other two that they came out with. And my Switch is actually next to my computer right now, is capturing game footage. PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, just some of my systems, my modern ones that I'm playing on all the time. And then a bunch more games. Wii U. Some Wii games. I had some other Wii games backed by the Pac-Man. 3DS games, Xbox One games, tons of Switch games. And, those are just the physical ones. And man, look how that looks. That looks really good on there. As for right now, that's pretty much the way to play Ocarina of Time, is on a Nintendo GameCube, running with the Mark II on there in 480p. I'm sure there's other ways through emulation and stuff, but as far as original hardware, this is probably as good as it gets for right now. But hopefully Nintendo will come out with something that, maybe a remastered version of these games. This one and Majora's Mask, that would be awesome. But down here too, I got, like I said, I got my Nintendo 64 and some Super Nintendo games. And I also have a Super NT Mini to play Super Nintendo games. That thing is awesome. I highly recommend that if you want to play Super Nintendo games the best way you possibly can play them. That's definitely the way to go. But yeah, guys, that's my game room. I took you on a little tour, just kind of showing you off some of the stuff that I have and some of the stuff that I'm really glad that I have. I'm definitely fortunate to even have the stuff that I do have. I know a lot of people have a lot less, and there's also people that have a ton of more stuff, but I'm happy with the things that I have, and I worked very hard to put together all this stuff. I've actually been working on putting this stuff together probably in the last like 4 years maybe, but it's definitely a work in progress and a lot of fun picking this stuff up, searching for it, and when I do get it, actually enjoying it. Because this stuff, other than the amiibos being in the box, there's some that are out, but other than most of them being in the box, I do play all these games. I try to anyway. Obviously, I couldn't play them all, but a good majority of them I at least try to play, and definitely try to have as much fun as I can playing my collection. But thanks for watching this video. Glad to show off the things in my collection. Hopefully I'll make some more videos showing some more of this stuff off in more depth, and maybe you'll check out some of my videos where I do go over this stuff. Some of it I already have gone over in a little more depth, but that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Like the video and share it to all your friends. That would be awesome. But thanks a lot, guys. I'm Wartrain, and I'm out.